day everyone. I am here to share with you some interesting ideas about the history of the teaching profession and the elements needed to be called a licensed professional teacher. As we look into the history of education and teaching preparation from where it began, we are far off better than before. During the pre-Hispanic period, there was no established formal schooling as well as preparation for teachers in the country. Only parents or the tribal leaders served as teachers at home and in the community. As the Spaniards came and colonized the country, they established a free public school system by the virtue of Educational Decree of 1863, where the Spaniards missionaries served as teachers. There was one school for boys and another school for girls in every municipality, but it was until 1875 when a normal school for women finally established. So, it was the Spaniards who started training teachers in normal schools. A former dean of the College of Education of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, named Paz Ramos, claims that the foundation of teacher education in the Philippines were laid by the Spanish government during the mid-18th century. It is said to have begun on August 4, 1765, when King Charles of Spain issued a royal decree requiring each village to have a maestro. On November 28, 1772, another royal decree specified the qualifications of teachers. However, it was not until 1863 that there was a specific attempt to systematize and update the education of Filipino teachers. At the end of the Spanish rule, schools during the Spanish era were closed for a time by Aguinaldo's government. Due to this, there was no teacher preparation that took place. In this part, allow me to discuss to you the journey of teacher preparation in the American regime. As a start, it was the American soldiers who served as the first teachers by that time. The Philippine Commission enacted into a law the Act 74 of 1901, which created the Department of Public Instruction, and it laid the foundations of the public school system and offered free primary education for Filipinos. Due to the shortage of teachers, the Philippine Commission authorized the Secretary of Public Instruction to bring 600 teachers from USA to the Philippines. They were the Thomasites. Despite the arrival of the Thomasites, there was still the urgent need for teachers. So, what the Americans did is they gave bright young Filipino students an opportunity to take up higher education in American colleges and universities financed by the Philippine government. These students were called the pensionados. The Act 74 of 1901 also provided for the establishment of Philippine Normal School in Manila. This school formally opened in September 1901 as an institution for the training of teachers. For more than 2 decades, the Philippine Normal School offered a 2-year general secondary education program. By 1928, it became a junior college, offering a 2-year program to graduates of secondary schools. In 1949, the school was renamed to Philippine Normal College. It offered the 4-year Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education and followed by other 4-year teacher education courses. This means that the present 4-year preparation for the professional teacher began as a 2-year program only. The teacher preparation became 4 years only in 1949 and thereafter. After this, by the year 1976, the late President Ferdinand E. Marcos issued the first legal document that professionalized teaching. It was the Presidential Decree 1006, otherwise known as the Decree Professionalizing Teaching. Now we are done with the history of the teaching profession. Let us move forward to the elements needed to be a licensed professional teacher. We will be discussing the elements in chronological manner. First off, the initial professional education. This means that all professionals begin with the completion of university program, or we commonly call a bachelor degree. May it be in teacher education, engineering, nursing, accountancy, etc. The second element is the accreditation. It is somehow connected on the first element. Accreditation means that university programs or bachelor's degree should be approved by a regulatory body like the Commission on Higher Education or CHED in the Philippines to ensure that graduates from these recognized programs start their professional lives with competence. After completing the accredited university program, the third element follows after. It is the licensing. Licensing is mandatory, not voluntary, and is administered by a government authority. In the Philippines, this government authority is the Professional Regulatory Commission or the PRC. To successfully obtain a license, one must pass the licensure examination for teachers that was conducted twice a year. The learning never stops after you obtain your license. In the fourth element, professional development, it states that a professional should maintain or improve professional knowledge and skills after they begin professional practice. In the Philippines, this is what we call continuing professional development mandated by RA 10912, otherwise known as the CPD Act of 2016. Another element is the professional societies. It includes like-minded individuals who put their professional standards above the individual's self-interest or the employer's self-interest. Professional societies define certification criteria, manage certification programs, establish accreditation standards, and define a code of ethics and disciplinary action for violations of that code. And last but not the least element is the code of ethics. Each profession has a code of ethics to ensure that its practitioners behave responsibly. The code states what professionals should do, and professionals can be ejected from their professional societies or lose their licenses to practice for violating the code of ethics. Like any other profession, teaching has its own code of ethics that every teacher must follow. In Section 23 of Republic Act 7836, it is stated that the violation of the Code of Ethics for professional teachers is one of the grounds for the revocation of the professional teacher certificate of registration and suspension from the practice of the teaching profession. So these are the 6 elements of profession. As a quick review, it is the initial professional education, accredited program, licensing, continuing professional development, membership in a professional society, and a code of ethics. There you go! I hope this video gave you a positive heads up to the world of educators. Thank you for watching. Bye!